With your companies that are more just kind of your old school companies, are you finding that AI is helping these?
Sure.
Is it, or is there a future that you think it will help them?
Amazing question. And there's like a ton of different threads to pull
That
there.
is an amazing question.
What I'll tell you is, as with most disruptionary events, I think it's maybe short-term overhyped, but long-term underhyped.
Completely agree with that. Yeah.
And you might have a little bit of a valley and a washout when the hundreds of billions of dollars of CapEx is not necessarily as productive as it's been for the last 3 years. But in general, I would say yes. I think what I'd say is, so I also started and own a technology company. Mm-hmm. And I'm a programmer by trade originally. And we would probably have 10 software engineers right now if it weren't for AI, and we have 4. And so this has happened.
Exactly.
Yeah, this has happened in really, like, the models who can really program have only been out for a year or two. This has happened in a year or two. And the thing that's concerning for me generally about the US economy is when you look at past disruptions that, let's say, like when cars came through.
Yeah.
People were concerned, okay, the people who are driving the horse carriages are going to get disrupted. Well, they can drive the cars. The people who sweep the streets will get disrupted. Well, they can sort of do other things.
Yeah.
But first, it was the wealthiest people who had access to cars in the biggest city. Then it was the middle class. And then it was the suburbs. And then it kept going out into the rural areas. And I'm not sure the exact timeline, but this is not a 5-year event. This is a 10, 20, 30-year event where you have the car parkerization of the United States. We have gone from 10 programmers to 4 programmers in like a year and a half. And there's a huge swath of the population that are not just software engineers, but are lawyers, accountants, other fields that in 5 years or so, 10, 20% are going to just be dislocated. And that has never, it's unprecedented. And that has never happened in our country. And so one of the things that I have Red Apple focused on, and also my policy on the political side, is how do we support those people who will be dislocated? And because I don't think it's just going to be the engineers, because when the Optimus robots come, when the Figure AI robots come, we're going to see huge swaths of the population be dislocated in the next 5 to 10 years, and nobody's talking about what to do for those people.
Well, first off, we don't need more lawyers. So that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
No, but I think my only counter to this is, I think, and no one talks about this enough, is we have a population problem here in the U.S. I mean, if you look at the amount of baby boomers retiring, and now that the Trump administration has successfully cut off the border and we don't have a real formalized immigration policy to bring more people in, I actually think we need AI desperately just to help the workers that we have, because we don't have enough workers. And I think this is what all the economists keep getting wrong. They keep like betting on the labor force, the unemployment rate to like spike. And I just don't think it's going to happen. I think our bigger problem is we don't have enough labor to service all the business. And now you have President Trump. Like, I don't think we're going to get all these billions of dollars in from all these other countries, but we'll probably get a portion of it, right, for whatever it's manufacturing or whatever, like national security, industries that we want to have here in the U.S. But I do think the bigger problem is labor shortage.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's
it's
where
a huge problem.
It's So I don't know if we're going to have this big displacement. But you're right. The adoption rate is higher.
I hope that
than
you're
we've
right.
ever seen.
I hope that you're right, because it's going to come all at once. Well, I'll tell you, as far as applicability to the folks who listen to this who invest, there's a huge wave of people who are increasing their profitability estimates of the S&P 500 and stocks based off of AI productivity. And what I'd say is the best companies will get better, and most medium companies will not. Because if you think about what happens in a range from a company that is highly commoditized to a company that has actual pricing power, if you're in a commoditized industry and you introduce AI to lower your cost of operating, then you will be able to take share much faster than your competitors, and then your competitors will be forced to take on AI. And so the value of the AI productivity that it creates will go to the consumer.
Great point.
Yeah. Versus Google, who doesn't need to lower its ad pricing based off of AI, can just capture all of the productivity gains.
Right. That's why they're laying off right now.
Right. So you have to be careful about which angle. Like Coca-Cola, for example, is not going to have to cut prices to compete with Pepsi because of AI productivity. all of it will accrete to the Coca-Cola shareholders.
Which is a great point, because this is where the tariff argument becomes like null and void, because like, okay, maybe incrementally your costs go up because of tariffs, but if you're reducing costs over here because of AI, and also I'd argue because oil prices are down significantly this year, this is why you're seeing profit margins in the S&P 500 at like record highs right now.
Very good point.
Yeah.
But time will tell, because you get productivity gains, and then the amazing thing that your point earlier about America is you get competition for those profit margins. So
which is disinflationary though. It's not the major inflation way that our economist was like predicting for the summer.
Very good point.